What if your legs could feel 10 years younger starting tonight? You've likely been ignoring this simple fix for years. Let's uncover how your evenings would unlock stronger legs and better days. Legs become numb. First, in order to strengthen them quickly, senior citizens should take these 3 vitamins. I would like to ask you a question. Are you familiar with the sensation of your leg not functioning properly as you stand up? Possibly it experienced a momentary sensation of tingling, numbness, or simply a feeling of weakness and shakiness. You most likely sat down, waited for a few seconds, and wished that the situation would go away. But it's possible that it's happening more frequently now. On a more fundamental level, you are beginning to ponder, how typical is this? Maybe there's something wrong with me. I want you to know that you are not the only one who has had such feelings. The answer is no. You are not simply getting older. It is appropriate for you to be here. If you have numbness or weakness in your legs, it is frequently an indication that your body is lacking something vital. Absolutely not treatment or medicine, just the most basic vitamins. It is essential that your nerves and muscles continue to function normally at this point. Let's take a time to discuss the reasons behind why this occurs. It is possible that the nerves in our legs and feet will begin to wear out as we get older, particularly if they are not receiving the nutrients that make them function properly. When those nerves become damaged or weak, the impulses that are supposed to flow between your brain and your legs start to travel more slowly. When this happens, you may have a sensation similar to that of pins and needles, or your legs may feel heavy, chilly, or numb. It may also be a problem with the flow of blood. When circulation slows down, your muscles do not receive the oxygen they need to function properly. Even after making only minor movements, your legs may experience feelings of fatigue or instability, despite the fact that this does not indicate that there is a significant problem. It is your body's way of letting you know that it requires some assistance. In addition, the purpose of this movie is to provide you with assistance in this regard. There are 3 essential vitamins that can make a significant difference in the way your legs feel and move, particularly after the age of 60. I will walk you through these vitamins in the following few minutes. Let us begin with the first one, shall we? This video is intended solely for educational reasons and is based on information that has been well researched. Nevertheless, prior to making any changes to your health, you should always visit your physician. Is the first vitamin B12, often known as the nerve protector, may be the solution to your legs if they are experiencing tingling, numbness, or a sense of disconnection. It is vitally necessary for your nervous system to have vitamin B12 in order for it to work properly. If you do not have it, the protective covering that surrounds your nerves, which is known as the myelin sheath, begins to lose its integrity. It is at this point that you will begin to experience peculiar sensations in your legs, such as a burning sensation, a sensation similar to that of walking on cotton, or even pins and needles. Your nerves aren't the only thing that vitamin B12 it helps preserve. It also contributes to the production of red blood cells and maintains the circulation of oxygen throughout the body. The lack of B12 in your body indicates that your muscles are not receiving sufficient food, and that your brain is not receiving clear messages from your legs. It is at this point that blunders, mishaps, or weaknesses that cannot be explained begin to appear. Let me tell you something that you might not be aware of. Once you reach the age of 60, your capacity to absorb B12 from diet will significantly decrease. In spite of the fact that you consume natural sources of B12 such as meat, eggs, or dairy products, your stomach is frequently unable to break it down and transport it to the appropriate location. How come? Mostly due to the fact that as we become older, our stomach acid and digestive enzymes stop producing as much. On top of that, the absorption of vitamin B12 is hindered by popular drugs such as acid blockers for the treatment of heartburn, and metformin for the treatment of diabetes. Up to 20% of older persons have B12 levels that are borderline or low. According to a study that was published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, the majority of these individuals are unaware that they have these levels, a symptom that appeared at an early stage. Legs and feet experienced a tingling or numbing sensation. It is possible for this to result in irreversible nerve damage if it is not addressed. Now, however, comes the heartening part. A B12 shortage is very reversible, and taking supplements can bring about significant improvements, frequently in a matter of weeks rather than much longer. It was observed in a study conducted by experts at Oxford University that senior citizens who took B12 supplements experienced a significant improvement in nerve conduction and a reduction in numbness after only 3 months of taking the supplements. Another study that was published in Neurology International shown that older persons who had previously been lacking in B12 experienced improvements in their walking speed and balance. So let's talk about the forms. B12 supplements can be broken down into 2 primary categories. There is also a synthetic type of cyanocobalamin, which is less expensive but more difficult for older persons to absorb. Methylcobalamin is the natural form of the vitamin that is already present in your body, making it more convenient for elderly people to use. Methylcobalamin is the superior option for people who are above the age of 60. This means that it bypasses your stomach and gets to work immediately. As a significant number of individuals like the sublingual formulation, which consists of a little pill that dissolves beneath the tongue. This is due to the fact that it is absorbed directly into the bloodstream, bypassing the gut entirely. So, how much should you take out of this? There are a lot of medical professionals who advocate beginning with 1,000 micrograms per day if you are experiencing symptoms such as leg tingling or weakness, but before you begin, you should always consult your physician, particularly if you're already on any medications or if you have any other health conditions. It's possible that you're curious about how quickly it operates. With the passage of a few weeks, leg numbness may start to disappear for some individuals. The amount of time it takes for others to complete may vary depending on how low their levels are. However, consistency is the most important factor. Repairing a hole is not the only thing you are doing. You are also re-establishing your nervous system. There is one additional thing that B12 accomplishes that makes it an especially valuable supplement for elderly people. Memory, energy, and mood are all improved as a result of its use. At the same time that you are working on strengthening your legs, you can also find that your brain is feeling more alert and that your exhaustion is decreasing. The ability to fill in the gaps is what gives it its power. Nevertheless, here's the thing: B12 is not effective when taken by itself. One of the pieces of the puzzle is this: you need to take into consideration blood flow, oxygen supply, and the way in which your muscles perform from the inside out in order to provide adequate support for your legs. This is the reason why the following vitamin that we are going to discuss is equally as crucial, if not more so, when it comes to assisting you in maintaining your strength, stability, and mobility. Vitamin D3 is the stimulator of the muscles. Now that we have that out of the way, let's talk about something that practically everyone over the age of 60 is lacking, and it is making your legs weaker on a daily basis. It is vitamin D3. One way to think about it is as the vitamin that is found in the sun. Even if this is true, the effects of D3 extend far beyond simply improving your mood. Strength, balance, and coordination are all significantly improved when it comes to your legs as a result of this important factor. In point of fact, one of the most obvious indications that a senior citizen has low D3 is that they have difficulty rising up from a chair without using their hands. Does this sound familiar to you? So, this is what takes place. A direct influence on the way your muscles contract is exerted by vitamin D3. In the absence of sufficient amounts of it, the muscle fibers in your body begin to contract, particularly in your thighs and hips. You are able to maintain your balance, lift your legs, and catch yourself if you fall, since these are the muscles that are responsible for these functions. What transforms a little slip into a potentially life-threatening fall is a lack of strength in these areas. This is supported by a number of research. In a seminal study that was published in the Journal of Gerontology, researchers monitored elderly people who had low levels of vitamin D. Participants who lacked vitamin D3 had up to 40% less lower body strength than those who had appropriate levels of vitamin D3, according to the findings of the study. This is a significant difference, and it manifests itself in activities that are performed on a daily basis, such as climbing stairs, standing, or just walking for longer distances. However, that is not the end of it. The presence of low levels of D3 has also been associated to chronic pain, particularly in the joints, lower back, and legs. One of the symptoms of vitamin D deficiency is a dull ache that some elderly people experience. This discomfort is not intense, but rather annoying. There is more to it than meets the eye. A biological signal is being sent. Moreover, this is when things take an even more serious turn. Calcium in your blood is essential for nerve communication, and vitamin D3 helps control calcium levels in your blood. When you don't have it, your nerves begin to malfunction. When we get started, I would really appreciate it if you could tell me where you were coming from today. Leave a remark below, and if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask them. In addition, make sure you click the subscribe button and adjust your alert settings so that you are never left out of Senior Health's most helpful health advice. The numbness, cramping, and burning sensations that might result from this are especially likely to manifest in your legs and feet. There is a possibility that you are thinking, but I go outside every day. I sit in the sun. You have my attention, but this is where the issue lies. When you reach the age of 60, your skin's ability to convert sunshine into vitamin D becomes significantly less effective. Even if you spend every day outside, it's possible that your body is not taking in enough oxygen. The absorption rate decreases even further when you include sunscreen, cloud cover, or darker skin tones in the equation. As a matter of fact, the National Institutes of Health reports that as many as 70% of senior citizens in the United States are lacking in vitamin D3. Certainly, that is not a trivial issue. It is a problem with the public's health. The question now is, what can you do about it? To begin, you shouldn't rely solely on food. The levels of vitamin D3 that are found in fatty fish such as salmon, eggs, and milk that has been fortified are extremely low in comparison to what your body actually requires. If you wanted to get close to that, you would have to consume an entire fish every other day. Because of this, supplementation is frequently required, particularly after the age of 60. Not vitamin D2 but vitamin D3. Cholecalciferol is the most effective form of vitamin D according to studies. Vitamin D3 is able to elevate blood levels more effectively and maintain them for a longer period of time. So, how much do you require? For senior citizens, the recommended daily intake ranges from 800 to 2,000 international units. On the other hand, if your levels are really low, your physician may suggest that you take a periloading dose of 5,000 international units for a period of a few weeks until your levels become stable. However, you should always check with your physician and request a blood test for 25-hydroxy vitamin D in order to determine your current status. Now, here is an important piece of advice. Consume vitamin D3 with a meal that contains fat at all times. Because it is a fat-soluble vitamin, you will be able to absorb a significantly greater quantity of it when you combine it with foods such as olive oil, eggs, or avocado. Lacking fat, your body is able to squander the majority of the dose. In addition, if you really want to accelerate the effects that vitamin D3 has on your legs, you can think about combining it with magnesium and vitamin K2. The activation of D3 in your body is facilitated by magnesium, and 2 is responsible for directing calcium to your bones and muscles rather than your arteries, protecting your heart, strengthening your bones, and ensuring that your legs are able to move with confidence, are all accomplished by this trio working together. Do you want to listen to something truly remarkable? A study that was conducted in 2019 and published in the journal Nutris found that senior citizens who took vitamin D3 supplements for a period of only 6 months experienced considerable gains in their muscle mass, grip strength, and walking speed. Additionally, they reported experiencing less pain and had fewer falls. Imagine the implications that this could have for your day-to-day life. Lower levels of pain, increased mobility, and increased autonomy. Also, it is not just a matter of physical strength. The mood and mental clarity that you experience are also supported by D3, which can help you feel more motivated to engage in physical activity and to take better care of yourself. Simply because, let's be honest, when your legs feel weak or numb, it affects more than only your body, but also your mind. You will feel the effects of it. It may cause you to retreat from activities that you enjoy doing, or to question whether or not you should go to the store or go for a walk with a buddy. Taking care of this one vitamin, which consists of just one soft gel per day, can really make a difference in your life. Therefore, if you have recently noticed that your legs are heavier than usual, or if you have noticed that your balance is not as it used to be, it is possible that it is not due to your age. It's possible that your body is something that makes a difference. Vitamin D3 might be the solution to this problem. One more potent vitamin is what ties everything together in a whole manner. On a daily basis, your heart, muscles, and circulation are all dependent on this particular one. This one works deep within your cells to replenish energy, speed up the repair process, and assist in recovering a sense of vitality in your legs. Let's proceed like this. The circulatory system is energized by vitamin E. Now that we have that out of the way, let's talk about the third vitamin that your legs have been waiting for so long. Particularly if you have ever experienced a sensation in your feet and calves that is described as being cold, numb, or dead weight. Vitamin E is what it is. Moreover, this one plays an important part in circulation, despite the fact that it is sometimes overlooked in discussions on senior health. When it comes to having legs that are solid and sensitive, circulation is the most important factor. What's the deal then? Since your legs are the furthest place from your heart, it follows that if your blood isn't flowing properly, if those vessels are clogged, stiff, or irritated, your legs are going to be the first to suffer. When you reach this point, you may begin to experience numbness, burning, cramping during the night, or a slow, heavy sensation throughout your walking. This is not merely a nuisance. This is a cautionary marker. Vitamin E is a known natural antioxidant that plays a role in maintaining the flexibility and openness of your blood vessels. It does this by protecting your red blood cells and preventing them from clumping together, which in turn minimizes the likelihood of blood clots and makes it easier for oxygen-rich blood to reach your leg. Contemplated in this manner, your muscles will be able to move when your cells are able to breathe. According to the findings of a study that was published in the journal Vascular Pharmacology, vitamin E was found to assist in improving in elderly persons, particularly in the lower extremities. What this means is that your legs, feet, and toes will receive a greater amount of blood, which will assist restore your warmth, sensitivity, and strength. And if you have ever experienced the kind of leg cramps that come on like clockwork at night, or if you have ever had feet that are pale and purplish after sitting for an excessive amount of time, a deficiency in vitamin E could be the cause. In addition, there is evidence that vitamin E may assist in the reduction of inflammation in the arteries and in the improvement of nerve regeneration. The fact that numbness in the legs is sometimes caused by a double whammy, which consists of inadequate blood flow and damaged nerves, is a very significant fact. Vitamin E is able to alleviate both of these problems at their points of origin. Let's discuss about the sources. Now, foods such as almonds, sunflower seeds, spinach, avocados, and olive oil are all good sources of vitamin E, but once more, the majority of senior citizens do not obtain enough from food alone, particularly if they have been eating less or avoiding fats as a result of previous advice regarding heart health. On top of that, in contrast to other vitamins, vitamin E is frequently removed from processed foods during the production process. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, reports that more than 90% of the population in the United States does not consume the amount of vitamin E that is advised. This indicates that millions of elderly people are walking around with decreased circulation and delayed muscular reaction without even being aware of it. Now, what is the solution? First, make sure you thoroughly read the label on the supplement. Do not use the synthetic form of vitamin E, which is referred to as d-alpha-tocopro-bacaeus. It is not absorbed as well as the natural form, which is referred to as d-alpha-tocopherol. Better than that, if you want to cover more antioxidant ground, look for a mixed tocopherol blend. This mixture matches the way vitamin E appears in food and covers more land, depending on your requirements and the foods you eat. The daily dose that is recommended for older persons might range anywhere from 100 to 400 milligrams. However, it is important to begin slowly and consult with your physician. Because vitamin E can have amino blood thinning effect at higher doses, it is especially important to take it if you are taking blood thinners. There is a cool bonus here. Vitamin E benefits the health of the skin as well as the healing of wounds. In the event that your legs or feet are prone to bruising or if cuts appear to take an interminable amount of time to heal, increasing your E levels may be beneficial from the inside out. In addition, when taken with vitamin C, which assists in the repair of blood vessel linings, you receive an even more robust defense against leg problems such as spider veins, varicose veins, and edema that occurs after standing or sitting for an extended period of time. Another noteworthy study that was published in Free Radical Biology and Medicine demonstrated that older persons who took vitamin E and also engaged in light walking experienced an increase in walking distance as well as a reduction in discomfort that occurred during movement. What a significant step in preserving one's autonomy. Because when your legs feel stronger, you're not only an edge in greater physical activity, but you also live longer. To tell you the truth, having powerful legs is the key to freedom. The difference between going on that family vacation or remaining at home, between gardening for hours or waiting on the sidelines, between waking up confidently in the middle of the night or being afraid of falling is all up to them. Because of this, I thought it would be beneficial to show you these 3 vitamins. Mainly due to the fact that they will not only support your legs on the surface, they restore what has progressively taken away from your body by working deep within your body, in your nerves, your blood, and your muscles. It is not too late, that is for sure. Individuals in their 70s, 80s, and even 90s have been able to regain their strength just by addressing simple deficits such as these. In order to repair nerve signals, you should begin with vitamin B12. Include vitamin D3 in your diet to stimulate your muscles and maintain a firm posture. You should also supplement it with vitamin E, which will help to revitalize your circulation and ensure that blood flows freely all the way down to your toes. We will take things one step at a time. Supplement after supplement, you might regain a sense of vitality in your legs. With self-assurance, you should be able to stand, walk, and move around. You have earned the right to feel powerful within your own body. If you have found this video to be helpful, please let me know in the comments section. Please tell me about your experience with these vitamins as well as the ones you have tried or intend to try in the future. In addition, if you found this to be helpful, please give it a thumbs up so that other people who are similar to you can also find it. Remember to hit the subscribe button because we are going to provide you much more helpful advice regarding the health of older citizens. You are more powerful than you give yourself credit for, and every action you take to improve your health is important. Cheers to legs that are able to transport you to the places you desire to go as of right now, tomorrow, and well into your most productive years. Taking action now means reclaiming confidence, freedom, and strength in your stride, regardless of age. These 3 vital vitamins, B1 to 4 nerve health, D3 for muscle power, and E for blood circulation, work in harmony to restore what time may have eroded. You deserve to wake up with energy, walk with purpose, and live with strength. Your journey to stronger legs doesn't begin at the gym or with complicated routines. It begins with awareness, intention, and the right support from within. Let your evenings become the foundation for better days. Share your experience, inspire others, and most importantly, keep moving forward. For more empowering health insights, subscribe to Storyvita channel and take charge of your vitality one step at a time.